Hey guys, it's another Sunday, and I hope y'all had a great week this week. Thank you for letting me take a little bit of a break from after our Aldi chat last week. That literally took me like 16 or 17 hours to get ready for, and it kind of wore me out. And I know a bunch of y'all are wanting to do Trader Joe's next, and I just can't imagine how long that's going to take. So, and probably, honestly, we'll have to do the Trader Joe's in about 3 weeks, like 3 weeks in a row. Because it's going to take me a while to do that one. So, hey Casey, you're the first one here. And sorry about the kind of, wet hair. It has rained all day long in Knoxville. And yeah, got soaking wet. So anyway, hey Melissa. So I just wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping first. And the first thing I wanted to say was I'll be using the camera behind me today. So there's my husband, bless you. So if the dog or the husband go through, sorry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize. I'm in a different part of the kitchen than I'm normally in. But the first thing I wanted to say was I had a couple of people ask on YouTube why I keep talking, like answering people. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows. I know you all do, because it's, when I hate this. Tracy's having the same issue as last week, so I honestly don't know what to do, Tracy. I'm just going to keep going. And we're just going to hope for the best. I haven't done anything different. My phone's the same, so we're just going to keep talking. But anyway, so I had a couple of people from YouTube ask last week why I keep answering questions. So I wanted to say up front before we start tonight that this is a live Facebook video. It's a Facebook Live video. And so for everybody that's going to be watching on YouTube later, this was live. So as people are talking to me, yes, I will be answering questions. So sorry if it's hard for you all to follow along later, but since this is live, that's kind of how we're doing it. So it's going to be live. So tonight, we decided that we're going to do some Weggos. And I don't know how many of y'all have actually tried a Weggo, but it's like a silly, easy go-to breakfast thing for me that I kind of made up one day. And was just kind of lazy one day, and I had a piece of bread and an egg and a couple of things that I could, kind of throw together, but I didn't have a lot of time. So I had actually overflowed something on my waffle iron the day before. So it was still out, still had kind of a mess going because I hadn't taken the time to clean it up. And a Weggo was created. So I hope y'all really enjoy these. I hope you enjoy, what we're going to make tonight. I'm going to try, if we have time, I'm going to make... I'm going to try and make 4 different kinds if we have time. I will say this, because I'm going to be spending a lot of time, on the other side of my phone. I may or may not be able to see all of your questions. So, Casey says it won't let her watch on her phone, but her computer seems to be working today. Guys, I honestly don't know what the problem is. Hopefully it's not going to be chattery like it was last time. When we get done, but we'll work on it. We'll see. So if this doesn't resolve the issue this week, then I guess Casey and I'll be working on some technology. So anyway, we're going to get started with some Weggos. I already have my waffle iron heating up, so I guess y'all can hear it. I'm going to turn the camera around for just a second. Yeah, Karen's having problems buffering. Guys, I don't know what to say. Nothing's changed on my end. I mean, absolutely nothing has changed, so I have no idea. And it looks fine to me. I'm going to look here, actually, if you all will bear with me for just a second. I'm going to see if I can pull it up on my iPad, see if it'll even let me pull up Facebook, because my iPad's getting kind of old and it's getting kind of, cranky, crotchety. So it doesn't always agree with me. So let's go here. Looks like we've still got a few people that are coming in. So I'm just going to keep jib-jabbering. So, yep, some people are having problems, some people are not. So, anyway, just going to keep talking. So, tonight we are talking about Weggos. And so I've just got it going on my computer, on my iPad. And I'm not going to do that because it is actually you're going to be able to hear it in the background. That doesn't seem like a good idea. So, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, we're just going to get cracking with the Weggos. So, I'm going to turn the camera around. The waffle iron is already preheating, and y'all get to see my lovely kitchen. So just remember, when my phone is turned around like this so that y'all can see the waffle iron, I can't see you. So here's my waffle iron. It's just an inexpensive one from Aldi, believe it or not. I bought this for like $9 at Aldi. The first Weggo that we're gonna make, well, I'm gonna show y'all a couple of things first. I almost forgot about this. I stopped at Ingles today because I had to go to work with my husband for a few minutes before he leaves town again, and found a new thing to me. It's Joseph's it's a Joseph's Flax Oat Bran and Whole Wheat Pita Bread, and these are 1 point, trans fat, reduced carb, reduced fat, high protein. So I know all of y'all don't have access to these. I'm sure they're available online. Lots of things are available online. I have only found these at Ingles here in Knoxville. So that's one of the things that we'll be using. We'll also be using another Joseph's product that I get. We get it here at Ingles. They also have this at Publix here in Knoxville. So you'll just have to check with your stores. It's another Joseph's product, and it is just their regular pita bread, and they're smaller, and I'll show you when it's time to do this. And again, for those of you that are just joining us, since I've got my phone turned around so that we can actually look at the at the waffle iron, I can't see what everybody's saying. But anyway, so we're going to use those, and then we're also going to be using some white wheat bread, and I've got some of the things that we're going to be using over here on a plate for easy access. No, I do not prep everything like this when I'm cooking for myself. This is just for you guys. So you can see I've got everything ready for our chat. The first Weggo that I'm going to make is going to be a BLT Weggo, and it's a BLT Weggo Pita Pizza. So we're going to use one of the Joseph's pitas. And remember, everybody, all of this is going to be in the transcripts later. That'll be on the internet. And they'll be here on Facebook. They'll be on my blog, www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and they'll be on YouTube. And you can find me on YouTube by searching If You Have an Egg all run together. So this one is going to be a BLT Weggo Pita Pizza. And I'm just curious, have any of you all tried, hey Tracy, have any of you all tried to make a Weggo yet? I know we've got some people that are already loving them, and then we've had a few people that have tried and need a little bit of, they're super, super easy. So I hate to even say some little, tech tips. And I know there's going to be a whole bunch of people here that haven't tried them yet. Again, it's just a lazy breakfast for me. And thank you, Casey, for putting that up. I'm back on this side of the phone again. So this one's going to start with a Joseph's whole wheat and flax pita, and it is 1 point. The pitas at Trader Joe's, they do have some pitas at Trader Joe's that are 1 point. Don't know about any other brands, so you'll just have to check yours, check yours for that. So a pita pizza is something that you could make. You could have this breakfast. You could have it for lunch. If we had a waffle iron at work, this would totally be what I would make for lunch. And that makes me think we need one at lunch. So when it's a pita, you can see that the pita already has a little bit, like a natural dip in it. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the pita on there. I'm going to get, I forgot to show you what kind of eggs I use. I use Eggland's Best. I use Eggland's Best cage-free brown eggs. Does not matter what kind of eggs you use, but that's what kind I use. And I also use Eggland's Best egg whites, or if I've been to Trader Joe's that week, I use Trader Joe's cage-free brown eggs and Trader Joe's liquid egg whites. And the package is currently disagreeing with me. Let's see. And no, Karen, you didn't miss anything. We're actually just getting started on one. So out of your sight, I am cracking an egg because the pita has a natural, it kind of has a natural dip in it. Then we're not going to have to worry too much about this running off. If your egg runs off, don't panic. You can see I'm kind of guiding it to stay in the middle. And again, if it's running off, see, it's going to do this because I'm doing a live video. That's exactly why it's running off. Don't panic, don't panic. Just going to use my spoon to scoop it back on here a little bit. And it's only doing this because we're live. Y'all realize that, right? So this one, since it's a BLT, I'm going to add a couple of tomatoes. If you had diced tomatoes, that would have worked well. It would be a BLT if I had remembered to get my spinach, but I did not remember that. So it's just pretty much going to be a BT. I have, those are just some sliced tomatoes. There were some sliced Roma tomatoes. And this is 1 tablespoon of Kirkland's crumbled bacon. I'm going to sprinkle that on there, and you can see the eggs already cooking. So there's my crumbled bacon. And then I'm going to add 1/8 of a cup, and since I don't have 1/8 of a cup measuring cup, I'm going to use 1/2 of a cup of the egg whites, and then you just close the lid. So while that's cooking, I'm going to come back to you guys for just a second. Hello, it's me again. Oh, the one thing I forgot, totally forgot, switch back around. We're going to do some Bragg nutritional yeast, and because it's 0 points, I just sprinkle it on there. I don't measure the Bragg, so it's always 0 points, so I just sprinkle it on there. But that one is a BLT Weggo Pita Pizza, so it's really easy. It's 1 Joseph's pita, which is 1 Smart Point. And again, all of this will be on the transcript, so you'll have everything. You'll have the recipes, and thank you for the thumbs up, somebody. So you'll have the recipes to go back to, you'll have the ingredients list to go back to, and you'll have the Smart Points to go back to. But this one ends up being 4 Smart Points because it is a 1 point pita, and the kind I use is a Joseph's pita when I've been to Ingles or to Publix. That's where I get them. You'll have to check your local stores. Trader Joe's also has a 1 point pita, and then there is 1 egg, which is 2 points, 1/8 of a cup of egg whites, and a tablespoon of my preference, the Kirkland crumbled bacon, and I get that at Costco. And then you can use some pepper to taste. You need a little bit of nonstick spray to, to put on there first. And again, you notice I didn't panic, because my egg came off, and I'm just going to check it real quick, and we are almost done. I'm going to grab a fork so I can pry that out of there when we are done, and y'all can see what it looks like. So the good news is that because you all are letting me do one where I'm actually making food instead of just buying ingredients, then if we do manage to get 4 of these made tonight, then I will have breakfast for the next 4 days. And we're going to find out, we'll also find out how well they hold up. So I'm just going to check it here again, and it looks like it is about done. So you notice that was for what? Maybe 4 minutes, 4, maybe 5 minutes, and we can go back and check the video. So it's super quick, so you can see it's steaming really well. And I'm just going to open the top here, and I kind of do this double-fisted. So I'm going to use a fork and a spatula at the same time. So you can see how clean this is coming out. Everything's nice and cooked. You can use the spatula to get under there. The egg, the egg is nice and done. Doesn't matter that it ran off a little bit because I'm just going to eat the whole thing anyway when it's that day for breakfast. I'm going to put it over here on a plate, and I'm going to use a little bit of, let me get myself situated again. I'm going to use a little bit of, you can use some fresh ground pepper, or y'all know I have this, affection for the Dean Jacobs bread dipping seasoning. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there, just some fresh ground, seasonings, and voila, there you have it. We have, and I'll flip it back because it doesn't do so good. There you have it. We have a BLT Weggo Pita Pizza. And remember, no lettuce because I forgot to get some. I forgot to get my spinach. Usually I use spinach for my lettuce on these, but yeah, I got so excited about finding the Joseph's pita bread that I totally forgot my lettuce. So anywho, so that was the first one. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think you could make those? Do you think you can make those pretty easy? Are you ready to make another one? The next one that I want to make, I actually just realized I forgot one of the ingredients in the refrigerator, so you're gonna have to hold on for me for just a second. Everybody just hold, please. Entertain yourselves. I will be right back, I promise. I'm coming. I promise I am coming back. So yeah, so that's the beauty of doing something live. The next one I want to make is actually a ham and cheese. And again, so these, seem like, if they seem like lunch ones, it's because I don't always eat these for breakfast. So this one's going to be a ham and cheese, and I'm actually going to use some of the ham from last week. So in last week's chat, we talked about Aldi, and if you missed last week's, it's up here on the Facebook page. It is also on YouTube, and it's on my blog, www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And so this one's going to be a ham and cheese, and with the ham and cheese, we're going to use a piece of the white wheat bread. I use, oh no, Casey says she can't entertain herself, panic. Okay, so when you use the bread, you know how I'm going to turn it around a second. You know how the egg kind of ran off on the pita? So look, on the bread, you're going to squish the middle of it. Squish it really good. And if you don't mind using some extra points, you could totally use a piece of Ezekiel bread. I know Aldi's got some 1 point bread. You know, you got a bunch of different choices. So you're going to squish the middle of it to make yourself a nice little hole, here. I am going to lightly spray the waffle iron again. We're going to set the bread in there. Okay, then the next thing is going to be, we're going to use about an ounce of the ham. Again, this one's from Aldi. It doesn't have to be from Aldi. It can be from anywhere. So here's about an ounce of the ham, and notice I'm kind of pressing it down in the middle. I'm making a little hole in there, so it's kind of like toad in a hole, except not really. It's kind of like a Weggo in a hole. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to use 1 slice of Velveeta cheese or any other American cheese type product, that as long as it's no more than 1 point. If you use bread, ham, or cheese that is more than 1 point, of course you're going to need to count, however many points you end up using. For that one, if you want to, you can use a little bit of light mayonnaise. This is Smart Balance Light, and so anyway, I could have used that on there. I'm not going to, since this is going to go in the refrigerator. I don't know, it just seemed like it would get kind of icky. But anyway, so the bread, Joan is asking what kind of bread it is. This particular bread is Nature's Own white wheat bread. It's 1 point per slice. If you use 2 slices, it is 3 points. And Aldi also has a bread that's 1 smart point. A lot of brands are 1 smart point as long as you only use 1 slice of bread. But you could use Ezekiel bread. You could use some of the others, that we use that are more points. Just remember to count the points. So you can see I still have my little divot there. I've got my little, kind of hole resting in the middle. I'm going to get another egg ready. Another one of my Eggland's Best or my Trader Joe's, but I always use brown cage-free eggs. That's just me. Okay. So there's my egg. I'm going to wipe my hands off, and I'm going to get another. I always add the 1/8 of a cup. Remember, I don't have an 1/8 of a cup, so I'm using 1/2 of a 1/4 of a cup of egg whites. And you're just going to close the lid directly down on it. So you can hear it's already sizzling. We're going to come back to me again for just a second. So, okay, so I'm back. So do y'all have any questions while that one's cooking? So we have, that one is a ham and cheese. It's 1 slice of 1 point bread, no matter what brand it is. If I was going to be eating this today, like if I was making this in the morning, then I would use 1/2 of a tablespoon of Smart Balance light mayonnaise. And I apologize if my husband starts talking. He just got a work phone call. I'm using 1 slice of Velveeta American cheese. It's just Velveeta original cheese, and it is 1 smart point. And you can use any kind of cheese. You can use fat-free cheese. You can use Weight Watchers cheese. And just remember to count your points. And I put approximately 1 ounce of ham on there, so that's another smart point. And then 1 egg, that's 2 smart points, and 1/8 of a cup of egg whites, which is 0 smart points. So that one, the version that I just made would be, oh gosh, the version I just made would be 6 points. And Stacy just said, off topic, your hair looks so pretty tonight. Stacy, we got soaking wet tonight while we're letting the Weggo cook. I'll sidetrack just a little bit. The dog would not go to the bathroom, period. And it has been raining. We had a really bad storm here yesterday, and it literally has been raining ever since. I don't think we've had 5 minutes of a break of rain, and I really wish we could send some of this rain to Florida because they need it super bad. So thank you for the compliment on my hair. It feels atrocious. Oh, and that one's already getting ready. So who likes melted cheese? Who here likes melted cheese? Give me a show of hands, because we've got some melting cheese on here. And again, you can see how quick this is. It's just taking a couple of minutes. We're like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, in, and it is. Can y'all hear it sizzling? Look at this. Look at this thing. Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Let's just check it real quick. And if you notice, I didn't close it down all the way. Can you all see that the latch is still open? So the latch is still open. Look at that melting cheese. Oh my gosh, that looks good. Okay, this one may not make it until in the morning. This one may get eaten tonight, even though I didn't put the mayonnaise on it. Of course, if you like mayonnaise, you can always come back later and add it. Let me grab another plate. You know, you can always come back later and add some mayonnaise, but this one's a hot ham and cheese. It's a hot ham and cheese Weggo. Would this not be amazing at work? I mean, it's really good for breakfast, but would this not be amazing at work? So all of your work buddies would be so jealous if you had a waffle maker at work and they saw you eating this thing. So here it is. I'm going to put it on a plate, and then I'll show you what it looks like here in just a second. So hold please while I close everything back up again. Set all my stuff down, and here you go. This is a hot ham and cheese Weggo. How much easier can that get? So I mean, literally, I made this while I was talking to you guys. Surely to goodness we can all make a Weggo if it's that easy. I mean, I wasn't even really looking at it while I was making it. I was just, you know, putting some stuff on my waffle iron. Again, my waffle iron was about I seriously think it was like, look at this. Oh, wait. Whew. My gosh, that smells good. I seriously think I paid $9.99 for this waffle maker at Aldi. I mean, really, it's just an inexpensive waffle maker. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So inexpensive, so easy to use. Absolutely delicious. Makes absolutely delicious Weggos. So Karen says, one of the Karens says that Weight Watchers cheese is hard to find in Ohio. Don't let Oprah hear me say this. I don't know if she, and Karen says, okay, that Karen also says Miracle Whip is lower in points than Mayo. Yeah, yes, ma'am, you were exactly correct. What I will say though is I use Smart Balance Light, and I use Smart Balance. I don't know why, I guess it just seems better for you. But anyway, so it's lower in points. I don't use real mayonnaise, even though I love real mayonnaise. I don't use it. And Christy says they look awesome. This is the first time I've heard of these. Christy, probably because I made it up. So if you hear anybody talking about Weggos and it's not me, or they didn't learn about them from me, then you know they got them from me. I don't even remember. Well, the name kind of came up from I don't know, just making it was a waffle iron, and I was making an egg, and, you know, obviously everybody loves Eggos, so, I don't know, it was just kind of a natural name, a Weggo, but I've made them probably every way that you can possibly, you know, think. We're actually doing really good on time, so if y'all want me to, I'm going to go ahead and start on the next one. This one's actually a French toast Weggo, and it's the second one that I made in the group, and we're going to use the white wheat bread again. So here I am poking down my white wheat bread. So I'm going to go ahead and keep poking, you know, kind of squeezing it in the middle. I hope y'all can see that. Trying to make it thin. And again, it doesn't have to be white wheat. This is what I'm using, or what I use, because this is the kind of bread my husband eats. So we can, you know, go through it all. And bread works really well even when it's stale. So even if you end up with the ends of the bread, you know, like it's the last little dregs and the, you know, thing, it's, see, there's just two of us, and my husband's not home a lot. Like, he's home right now, believe it or not, again. So he was gone all last week. He was home for 2 days this weekend, and I'm afraid when he leaves again, he's going to be gone for like 20 days. So, you know, this loaf of bread's not going to go anywhere because there's no little kids running around the house to eat, you know, peanut butter and jellies and stuff. But anyway, so when the bread starts to get stale, it works just fine. You don't have to use white wheat. That's just, you know, what kind we use. But I try to stick with bread that's 1 point for one slice. So the white wheat it's 1 point. Let's see, is white wheat better, the same, or Casey says, is white wheat better, the same, worse than whole wheat bread for the Weggo? Casey, the only reason I use white wheat, it makes me feel better that it's white wheat. It is a whole grain bread instead of just being flat out white bread. Don't get me wrong though, John and I are big time white bread eaters. Like, we would eat the softest bunny bread ever, like if it stuck to the roof of your mouth. And Casey wanted me to let everybody know that my child never ate peanut butter and jellies anyway. That's actually true. John and I are the ones that eat the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, so I guess I was talking about other people's children because she never ate those. She didn't eat macaroni and cheese either. She was kind of weird. She was probably the only 6-year-old you saw eating blackened rainbow trout, because I don't know, she just got weird taste. But anyway, so I'm still sitting here fondling my bread. Ezekiel bread would work well. Casey whole wheat bread would work well. You just have to remember to count the points. I like this because this is what I keep here for your father. It's only 1 point per slice. Aldi has a whole wheat bread that's 1 point per slice. But anyway, so we're going to use this one, so it's white wheat. Okay, now while the camera's still on me, I'm going to do something a little different because since this is a French toast bread, I'm going to use, or French toast Weggo, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of fat-free ricotta, and the fat-free ricotta I get at Trader Joe's. So if you use 2 tablespoons of light ricotta, and there are several different brands of light ricotta, you can get those at literally any grocery store. Most grocery stores, the store brand has a light ricotta. Trader Joe's is the one that I prefer, but this is light ricotta, and I did that while I was chit-chatting. So there's the light ricotta, and I think 2 tablespoons of a store brand. 2 tablespoons of a store brand light ricotta is going to be 1 smart point. So I've got 1 smart point for my bread, 1 smart point for the light ricotta, and I'm going to do, let's see, I'm actually going to, so for the French toast one, I'm going to make 2 different kinds using this ricotta. So this is the French toast one. Oops, I'm going to turn the camera back around. Not used to doing that part, so sorry, I'm a little bit slow. And oh, look, we have an escapee piece of fried cheese, so you know I'm going to be eating that in a few minutes. So anyway, you're going to put this one on there. This one's super, super easy because the star of this show is the ricotta. It's just the ricotta and the egg. So this one's super, super simple. Only a couple of ingredients. And then we've got our 1/8 of a cup of egg whites. And remember, all of this is going to be in the transcripts. It'll all be here online. So we're going to do, there's our 1/8 of a cup. Close the lid down a little bit. So who likes French toast? Does anybody here like French toast? My husband loves it, but I am not very good at making it because I just don't, I don't know, I just can't get that whole dredging the toast in the, hey Alan, my son-in-law just joined too. Oh, I didn't even think about it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so y'all should know by now that Casey is my daughter and Alan is my son-in-law. And my son-in-law Alan has just joined us from Bristol. He's actually in Bristol, Tennessee, watching the NASCAR race, or maybe it's rained out, or maybe he's waiting on the race. I'm not sure which one, but anyway, he's watching us from Bristol. So everybody say, hi, Alan. Thank you for joining us from Bristol. That was very sweet of you to break into your race time to join us tonight. So right now, the one that we're on is a French toast version. And the French toast, again, was just a piece of 1 point bread. Let's see. Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt myself. Karen says, are eggs 100% protein? 100% protein. I'm not really sure how to answer that question. No, they're not 100. Gosh, it's meat. No, they're not 100% protein. I don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. Oh, egg whites. Are egg whites 100% protein? Well, I'll tell you what, while that's cooking, let's read what it says on the side of this container. So again, I have my Eggland's Best egg whites. And so Alan, if you can see this, everybody's saying hello. Let's see, it says they are a fat-free, cholesterol-free food and a good source of protein. They have 5 grams of protein, so for 3 tablespoons, which is more than 1/8 of a cup, 1/8 of a cup is 2 tablespoons. So for 3 tablespoons, it's 20 calories, 0 fat, of course 0 saturated fat, 0 cholesterol, 75 milligrams of sodium, but that's naturally occurring. Yes, that is naturally occurring sodium. 75 milligrams of potassium, 0 carbohydrates, 0 fiber, 0 sugars, and 5 grams of protein. So I'm going to say probably yes, Karen, that it is all protein. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I'm not a nutritionist, even though I play like I am one. But yeah, I'm going to say yes. So let me check on this real quick. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Okay, so let me flip the camera back around. So here we have just a very, very simple, let me move my plate. It's a very simple way to make French toast. Again, I am not good at making traditional French toast. Mine never turns out right. You can see I literally made this while I was talking. Can't be any easier than that. Let me get it over here on my plate. So that was, let's see, that was 1 point for the bread. That was 1 point for the bread, 2 points for the egg, so that's 3 points. And then I had a point for my ricotta cheese. And then I'm going to have, I usually use, and I'm not going to do it now because, again, I'm not eating this right now, but I usually use Carrie's sugar-free low-calorie syrup. And that is, if you use an eighth of a cup, that is 1 smart point. A fourth of a cup, I believe, is 2, but a fourth of a cup of sugar-free low-calorie syrup is a lot of syrup. So a super, super, super easy French toast. Anybody can make it. Even your husband can make this. Kids with supervision can make this. Then put some sugar-free syrup on it. So that would be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smart points. So that would be 5 smart points for all of this. Okay, Alan is saying hello, but he is at his great Uncle Fred's until the race tomorrow, and they are out in the boondocks with a little reception. Okay, so we're not going to hear a lot from Alan. So guess who's having a French toast Weggo in the morning for breakfast? That would be my husband before he leaves to go out of town again. He loves his French toast. This is also really good. I don't know if those of you who eat French toast, I don't know if you ever put berries on them, but oh, and one of the Karens is asking if I reheat these in the microwave. Karen, this is going to be an experiment because normally I make the Weggos as I'm going to eat them. Oh, and Stacy wants to know where I found the syrup. Carrie's, I have found, well, the Carrie's brand, and sometimes I buy Maple Grove Farms sugar-free syrup. I've gotten that at any grocery store, literally Publix, Kroger, Ingles, Target, the markets. I'm sure Walmart has it, even though I don't go there. But yeah, any grocery store, any decent sized grocery store should have sugar-free syrup. But Karen, one of the Karens is wanting to know if I reheat these in the microwave. Honestly, we eat them so fast, I've never had to reheat them. So we're going to find out, and I'll tell you in the transcripts how these turned out. I've also thought about trying to freeze them, but honestly, the only reason that we're going to be reheating these is because I'm making several of them tonight. And might need to reheat them because normally, this was so fast. We've already made 3 Weggos and we're at 33 minutes. So, and the only reason it's taken 33 minutes is because I'm talking. I literally could have made all 3 of these Weggos in 15 minutes. So if any of y'all out there have 3 kids and you're trying to get them ready to go to school in the morning, my gosh, seriously, and how fun. Don't you think your kids would sit still to eat a Weggo in the morning? How many of you, again, show of hands, how many of you have kids? How many of you think you could get them to sit still to eat something fun like this? Come on, it looks like it's got eggs in it. It's good for them, but it looks like a waffle. How fun is that? So we've made 3 of them in 33 minutes already, and most of that time I've spent talking. So yeah, super, super easy. So I'm actually, because we are doing so well on time, I'm going to make one that I wasn't sure whether or not we would have time to make. Oh, and Stacy's got 3 kids. So Stacy, what do you think? Even little kids could eat this because you can take them. You can take the Weggos. Okay, I'll say this too. On the Weggos, if you're going to cut them up, because I do this sometimes in the morning if I'm if I have extra stuff on my plate and I don't have room for the Weggo to be in its original form. Sometimes I'll just take my pizza cutter, and you can see I've been using it for this today. So I'll take my pizza cutter and cut the ones that are like this. I'll just cut them into stripes so it makes like a I don't know, like little Weggo strips, like little, what would you call those? Anyway, like little Weggo strips that you can pick up and eat. So you made them into a finger food, or on the Weggos that are on a pita or that are on the pita bread after they're cooked, just go ahead and use the pizza cutter and cut it, you know, like a pizza. And I mean, what kid wouldn't eat that? Of course children would want to eat that. So we are doing great on time. So I'm going to make another one with the bread. And again, this will all be transcribed here. This will all be on my blog, www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. This will be on YouTube. So there's plenty of opportunities to go back and see this. All of the recipes are on my blog. If you just search, if you go to www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and search Weggo, then all of these recipes are there. And if you go ahead and sign up for the, to be notified as I post new recipes, then as I post new Weggo recipes, and that's not the only place or the only things I post on there, but as I post new Weggo recipes, then you will be the first to know about them. And I also put all of the Weggo recipes on my app. So in case you didn't know that I had an app, yes, I'm insane. I do all of it. Thank you, Casey, for putting the website up. I do all of this for fun, believe it or not. This is not a business for me. It's just for fun. I have a business that I run during the day, and this is what I do to relax, believe it or not. So anyway, so if you all need any of this information on the go, you can actually access most of my recipes. You can access all of these YouTube videos. You can access all of this from my app. And if you go to either the Apple Store or to your Google Play Store, it is, if you just search If You Have an Egg, if you just run it all together, If You Have an Egg, and do a search, then you can find it there. And yes, there is a fee for the app, but the reason there's a fee is because I chose not to have ads. I didn't want to look at ads. I had no control over what the ads were going to be, and quite frankly, it frightened me what the ads may be, so I chose not to have ads. Okay, so this next one is going to be sort of like the French toast one, but just a little bit different. So we're going to use the fat-free ricotta again, or remember, you can use light ricotta, your store brand, or there's lots of different brands of. Oh, and Christy says she's got the app and she loves it. Thank you, Christy. And all of this will be on there when I get done. And actually, I've got everything for those of you that have the app. I have everything that we talked about from Aldi last week will be added to the app this week. So you'll be able to go into Aldi and pull up all of those items and not have to worry about wandering around looking, for things. So all I'm doing, y'all saw me sit and knead the bread again. Any 1 point bread, if you use something that's more than 1 point, just remember to count your extra points. I put some more of the fat-free ricotta on it. I'm going to turn this around so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to, again, lightly spray it and put my bread on there that's been squeezed in the middle. But this time, I'm going to make a cinnamon and sugar. Ooh, Jackie says a Weggo apple pie. Use 2 slices of bread to seal on the cooked chopped apple. Well, Jackie, guess what I'll probably be trying tomorrow? So this is, what I'm putting on here right now is, this is a teaspoon of Truvia sugar blend. It's a Truvia baking blend, and so it's actually sugar. It does have a little bit of sugar in it. It has sugar and Truvia both in it, and some cinnamon, and I just went ahead and blended them together. And so that was a teaspoon of Truvia and some cinnamon mixed together, sprinkled on there. So I've got the 1 point slice of bread, some fat-free ricotta, and then 1 point of Truvia with cinnamon in it. And you all know what comes next. Any guesses? Any guesses? This is only our, fourth one, I guess. So next is the egg. And y'all can see how much better the egg behaves when it's actually on the bread that's been squished in the middle. So we have the egg, and then we have again 1/8 of a cup, which is 2 tablespoons of egg whites. And this one is going to be, a cinnamon sugar. A cinnamon sugar Weggo, so I can't wait. So Jackie, are you in our group? Are you in our If You Have an Egg group? Because if you're not, I want you to go join it so that you can remind me to to make that, because that sounds amazing. And I want to be sure and have your name and all of your information so that when I make that, when I try that tomorrow night, yeah, by the time we get done, it'll be too late for me to try it tonight. Dang it. But I definitely want, oh, and I'll have to go buy an apple because I spent, hey, while we're waiting, I'm going to sidetrack. When I went to the grocery store today, I didn't get any apples because they had the giant Manola Tangelos or Sumo Tangelos I went to Ingles and they called them Manolas. So my Karens that live here in town, they had these at Ingles, and these are like the best. But anyway, so yeah, Jackie, if you're not in our group, I want you to join our group so that you can remind me about this tomorrow, because you know that by the time I get through transcribing this, I will forget it. And I want to be sure and make that, and I want to give you proper credit for it. So that could be the, see, Jackie, what do you want me to call it? The Jackie special or something. Of course, we won't put any eggs on it because that might be weird. Yeah, and Casey's all excited. Sumos. Yeah, Casey, so guess what I'm having tomorrow? So I'm going to check our cinnamon sugar Weggo real quick because I've left my waffle iron on so long, it's not taking nearly as long for them to cook. But even when I first heated up the waffle iron, it still only takes them 4, maybe 5 minutes to cook. So yeah, so do go back and check them often. But so we have, so far tonight we've already made a BLT Pita Pizza Weggo. We have made a ham and cheese Weggo. Let's see, Karen wants to know if this is working a Belgian waffle where you flip the waffle maker over. Sorry, the eggs would run off. I don't think they would, Karen, because actually what you're going to want to do, the only reason you flip it is because the instructions tell you to flip it. Seriously, it's just a waffle maker. Almost as soon. Okay, so when you close it, here's what my gut tells me. And if anybody else has tried this with a Weggo, you know, go ahead and shout out so that this Karen knows. So here's what my gut tells me. Because it's exactly the same technology as what I have, I'm just not flipping mine over. As soon as I close that, oh, and Mandy says she made my stuffed pepper recipe for dinner and it was so good. Yay! Good job, Mandy. Good job, Mandy. I can't wait to see what y'all are eating. And I trust that Mike is not starving to death while you're doing this. But anyway, so my gut tells me that once you put everything in there and you close it, just like on my waffle iron, the eggs start setting almost immediately. So I think as soon as you flip that over, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I mean, I really think it's going to stick. And let's face it, this is so, you know, these are like so simple and inexpensive to make. Try one. I mean, you know, what's the worst that could happen if you ruin one Weggo? Oh no. Okay, so let's go back and look at it. So here we go, and I wish y'all could smell this. I wish we had smell-o-vision because this is a perfect. Holy cow, this thing smells good. This is a cinnamon and sugar Weggo, and I'm gonna keep holding it like this for just a second because I think I'm actually gonna put this on the plate with the regular French toast Weggo. So yeah, there's another one. So we have made 1, 2, 3, 4. We've made 4 Weggos and it hasn't even been 45 minutes yet. So again, how simple, how easy. I promise your kids will eat these. I would eat these every day if I didn't think you all would get sick of looking at them. But you could cut them into little strips and they would be like the Eggo strips, but they would just be Weggo strips. I'm serious, I think your kids would eat these. Cut them into strips, put them in a little Ziploc bag. They're not bad cooled off. I mean, I prefer them warm, but they're absolutely not bad at all cooled off. So that, you know, this would totally be something that I would tuck into my purse and, you know, take to work or, you know, drive with. And thank you for the hearts and the thumbs up. Y'all know I love those. So I'm going to set this over here with the other Weggo, with the other French toast Weggo. So that's what we'll have 2 on that plate when we come back. Now, for the piece de resistance. Okay, this is one, and Betty says she's so late. It's okay, Betty. It's all the same technology. It's all exactly the same technology. This one is the piece de resistance. I hope it turns out like I think it's going to. I've never made this one before. I made it up in my head. Don't tell anybody in church this morning. So, yeah. Sometimes these things happen. Sometimes I can't help but think about Weggos, you know, at inappropriate times of the day. But anyway, so, and thank you for the thumbs up. So this one is going to be a test. So hopefully it's going to turn out great. And this is also why I was so super excited about the, super excited. Oh, Sandy says this is her first live and it looks awesome. So awesome, Sandy. And I hope that any of you all that came in late or anybody that missed this, that you did hear that the transcripts for this along with all of the recipes will be available later. And these these will always be available here on the Facebook page. They're in my Facebook group. They're on my blog, which is www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. And Karen says the Lord sent this one to me. And really, I mean, that's honestly, seriously, I mean, because you know, you can't come up with this stuff on your own. So it has to be. It was a divine moment, and I'm hoping it's going to turn out divine because it felt like it this morning. But anyway, they're all on my blog, www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. They're also on YouTube. If you want to find me on YouTube, just go to YouTube and then type in If You Have an Egg, just all run together. Or if you and look for me as a user, I guess. Or if you type in Weight Watchers Facebook Live and search for that, then you can find me that way too. Or if you have my app, you can open up YouTube on my app and see all of these, and these, like all these Weggo recipes, they are on the app. So this one is that Joseph's Pita, the pita bread that I was so excited about this morning. I usually also use 1 point tortillas that I get at Trader Joe's, and they used to have some 1 point tortillas at Ingles, which is a grocery store we have here in Knoxville. And I know everybody doesn't have an Ingles, but it's like Kroger or Mayo or something like that. And they normally have a 1 point whole wheat low carb tortilla. They just didn't have any, which I was kind of upset about until I saw these. And Joan says maybe 2 slices of bread and it would be 2 portions and hold in the juicy stuff. That's a great idea, Joan. I'll leave it open top just because once you've had one of these open top and you can see how the eggs, I don't know, the eggs are just like perfect. They're perfectly cooked on this. So I've been leaving them open top just because I like the way the eggs turn out. But so again, this is a Joseph's Pita bread. It's 1 smart point. If you can find the low-carb whole wheat tortillas at Trader Joe's, those are 1 smart point, and there are some other brands at other grocery stores, also 1 smart point. So for this one, okay, and this was what I was, dreaming about this morning. So who doesn't love some good huevos rancheros? And these are not going to be all out, knockout huevos, but pretty darn close. So what I was thinking about is I still had these, a couple of these guacamole cups from last week left. So if you weren't here last week, that was our chat about Aldi, about, Weight Watchers finds at Aldi with Smart Points values. That is, that video is also available if you want to go back and look at it. But I still had some of these little cups, and the cups that I found at Aldi are only three Smart Points. So I've got the 1 Smart Point Joseph's Pita bread, and then I have the 3 Smart Point guacamole, and I'm just going to quickly put that on my pita bread. And y'all get to listen to me do that live, if you're here live. Okay, this already smells really good because it smells like guacamole. Ooh, don't run off there, buddy. You could add, if you had extra points, you could add some beans. You could add some refried beans. That would be good. Just remember to count your points. If you had extra points for cheese, you could do that. I tell you what, I've got about a tablespoon left of the, well, not a tablespoon. I've got about half a tablespoon left of the fat-free ricotta, so I'm just going to smooth that on there for a little bit of cheese. You could do some light shredded cheese. If you've got enough points, go all out. I'm a big proponent of, if you've got the points, eat real cheese. Let's see. Sorry for licking my fingers, but it's guacamole. Let's see. And Joan says, I was in Knoxville, Weight Watchers on Friday, traveling from New York. No computers. Do y'all have computers at your Weight Watchers meetings? Yeah, we don't. Didn't even think about that. We don't have those. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back around and get it ready. So I have, going to again lightly spray, and I already took my Joseph's Pita bread, And look, that perfectly fits my waffle maker. And I added one of the guacamole cups from Aldi, and I had about a half a tablespoon of the fat-free ricotta left in my little bowl, so I used it. Then I'm going to put some more of my sliced Roma tomatoes on here, my very Mexican sliced Roma tomatoes. I'll put those on there. It would be good with some salsa maybe. We'll just have to see how the moisture part plays out. Going to poke that down a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make a little ring. I'm going to make a little ring out of these in hopes of keeping the egg on there this time for the live. It normally does not run off like it did on that first one, but, since it's live, of course it did. So, we're going to do that. I'm going to grab another one of my Eggland's Best cage-free brown eggs. Again, or if I go to Aldi, if I go to Trader Joe's, and for some reason I don't buy eggs at Aldi, don't know why. I guess because they don't have brown cage-free eggs. And then 1/8 of a cup of the egg whites, like we've been doing. So we've got all that on there. Going to close the lid and come back to you. So this is our last recipe for the night. If you had wanted to, you could add some on any of the Weggos that are savory, not the ones that are sweet. You could have added some Bragg nutritional yeast. I did find this at the Ingles here in Knoxville today, and it was in the section where it was at the end of the baking section at that store, and it was near all the Bob's Red Mill stuff. So if you can find Bob's Red Mill at your grocery store, and Bob's Red Mill is all the things that are like, it's like almond flour and all this like supplemental flour and just really neat organic stuff. And they have flax meal and all this kind of stuff. But if you can find those, and once you see Bob's, it'll be obvious to you everywhere you go. You'll see it everywhere you go. But if you can find that section, that's where I most often find this. But yeah, so look, I'm already down. I just had this wee little tiny bit left, and this is my 3rd container, and so I did buy my 4th container today. But this is really good on all the savory ones, the ones that had cheese on them, like that had cheese and bacon, ham and cheese, something like that, because again, Bragg nutritional yeast tastes like panko and Parmesan had a baby. And if you missed the Facebook Live about this, it was a couple of weeks ago, and it's the one that's also paired with the detox tea. And if you're not interested in detox tea, not a problem. When you pull up the video on YouTube, just skip to about minute number 20, and you'll go straight to the Bragg nutritional yeast, and we show lots of ideas. And I don't know why I always say we. So somebody out there that's a psychiatrist explained this to me, because I always say we discussed that, we did this last week, we, whatever. It's just me. It's just me. There are no other people here. Well, my husband's in the room with the dog, but it's just me. So I don't know why I say we, like if you have an egg is this, conglomeration of people. It's just me. It's just me. But anyway, so the Bragg nutritional yeast, 0 points, 0 smart points. So any of the ones that are savory, I put this on all of them. So this definitely went on that, the BLT one. And I probably should have put it on this one. Wasn't thinking, got a little excited. Let me see if I've still got time to add it here since this is cooking so quickly. Yep, I think I do. Even though I don't want my Huevos Rancheros Weggo to taste like panko or Parmesan. Gonna add that there. Oh, and Casey says she was in one video. So, okay, so for that video we can say we. But I don't know why I always say that. And I gotta tell you, I just snuck a peek of it there when I went to put the Bragg nutritional yeast on it. And I think it's gonna taste like I hoped for. So fingers crossed that this is gonna turn out like I think it is. So that one is 1 smart point for the Joseph's pita bread. Or if you find a 1 point tortilla, which they have at Trader Joe's, or there is a whole wheat reduced carb brand at most grocery stores, which is 1 point, so it's 1 point for that. If you use the little cups like I found at Aldi, or if you use your own guacamole or whatever, like this little cup though, was 3 points. And one little trade secret, ladies, I'll tell you, to make myself feel like I'm getting every ounce for my smart point buck. See all those little dregs in there? After we're done tonight, I will be using my finger to get those out and lick them, because I counted 3 points for this, so I'm getting every scrap of my 3 points. When you spoon out when you spoon out peanut butter, when you measure peanut butter and use it, lick the spoon. You counted those points. Anything that you use, that you use a measuring spoon for, lick it, because you already counted them. Those are your points. You need to eat them. So anyway, this was a 3-point guacamole cup from Aldi. And then it has an egg, of course, that's 2 points, and then 1/8 of a cup of the egg whites, and just a smidgen of the ricotta cheese. So I'm not going to count it, and the Bragg nutritional yeast is 0, and the tomatoes are 0. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 smart points. And this thing is smelling awesome. This one, oh my gosh. I think it's going to meet all expectations. Okay. So let me just flip it around. I'm super, super excited about this one. So this is a new creation, and again, y'all are seeing this for the first time ever. This is the first time ever seen. Brand new recipe. Y'all are the first people to see it. Look at this baby. This is a Huevos Rancheros Weggo Pita Pizza, I guess is what it'll be called. Oh, let me grab my plate real quick. Man, this thing smells good. So aren't you all excited that you're the very first people? Let's see. Karen says, of course it's going to be good. The Lord had his hands in this one. And that is true. That is true. Yep. Sometimes I wonder whether he's being proud of me or giggling, because I definitely think he has a sense of humor. But yeah, so this is the Huevos Rancheros. Y'all are the very first people to see it. This is 1 pita. Hey, Angie. Angie's a little bit late. But Angie, we made, this is our, what is this, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've made 5 Weggos, and we have made them in 57 minutes. And honestly, yeah, and no problem, Angie. I was afraid you weren't even going to make it at all. So you can catch up later. But everybody tell Angie I said her name 11-7 times, so she feels like she was here. I know I didn't really, but just tell her I did. So this is a Huevos Rancheros Weggo Pita Pizza. And it is going to be, oh, Angie went and picked up a puppy tonight. Okay, well, we'll expect to see pictures of that later and all about it. So this one is a brand new creation for me. We've calculated at 6 smart points, and y'all are the very first people to see it. Let me put it on the plate because my arms are getting a little bit tired. And we will actually probably try this one. Let me turn off the waffle iron real quick, though, so that can start cooling down. So again, who's got kids? Show of hands, who's got kids and a husband at home, or a wife? There might be guys, watching this. Who's got spouses and or children, or picky grandparents, or picky adults at home. Super easy to make. You can make one at a time. You can make one for everybody. You can be. This is one of those times when it doesn't matter if everybody wants something different. Who cares? Because most of the time for supper, you're like, oh, okay, I made, all of this, for all of us. And, if people want different, hey, oh my gosh, look at all the little hearts. Thank you, guys. The hearts and the thumbs up. Y'all know I love those, so thank you very much. But, how many of us, though, have families that are like, well, I want this, and, Billy wants that, and Timmy wants this, and, Susie wants something else. And if your kids' names are Billy, Timmy, and Susie, I apologize to them. But, oh, and Angie just said that they had to put down their golden retriever that was 14. Angie, I'm so sorry. You know how I feel about the fur babies, so I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry about that, but I can't wait to see your new puppy. But Sandy is raising her hand because she has, some of those eaters in her house. But think about it, this one, if you just got a pack of the pitas or, or a loaf of bread, Oh, and Susan, thank you. Susan says she loves watching me. Thank you, because I love doing this. But if you had a pack of the pitas, if you had a pack of the pita bread, or if you just had a loaf of bread, I mean, oh my gosh, how easy is this? Because you could literally make something different for every person. We just made 5 different things. It took 57 minutes to make 5 different things, and the only reason it took 57 minutes was because I talked so much. You literally could have made 5 in about 25 to 30 minutes. If you already, kind of had your stuff together, kind of knew what you were going to be making. And honestly, I mean, why not let the kids get involved? If they're going to make you make things that are different, if everybody's going to want something different, or like a little kid's birthday party, would that not be fun for like a kid's birthday party to just set out all the stuff and just let them go crazy as long as they were under adult supervision? Because I'm telling you, I just stuck my hand back here like I could still see it, but the waffle iron's hot. But, oh, and Casey says she doesn't have kids, but she has a man-child. Does that count? Casey, totally. I mean, because think about it. You could make you all, something separate. And how delicious would this be for a 6, you've got a 6-point Huevos Rancheros Pita Pizza. And oh yeah, Tracy says she would add fat-free cheese, beans, and hot sauce. Totally, totally. Oh, you know what would be good on it? My beloved sriracha. That would be really good on it. Or I always keep diced jalapenos in the refrigerator, so that might be going on there before I eat it tomorrow, if I don't eat it tonight. But oh, Karen says I have a great personality and that I get you all excited about Weight Watchers. Well, I'm glad I get somebody excited about something. But anyway, so this would be great for a party, or you know, just if you just need to make different things. I mean, seriously, we made five different kinds. So here is the Huevos Rancheros Weggo Pita Pizza. You are the first to see it, so you're the inaugural group. Be proud, be excited. Y'all should be excited. So you want to be sure, if you're on here, you want to be sure and shout out your name so that, yeah, Tracy the Tajin would be good on this. Shout out your name so that people know that you were part of the inaugural group, that were the very first people ever to see this. You know, in case awards are ever given out, or, you know, who knows, if I become famous for Weggos, whatever. You know, or if Oprah calls and says, what is it about these Weggos, then I can name all of your all's names and say that you were the very first people to see them. So the Huevos Rancheros one, picked 6 points. The first one we made, which was the BLT Pita Pizza. Again, all of these will be here. The transcripts will be here. The transcripts will be on YouTube, and all the videos will be on YouTube. On YouTube, search If You Have an Egg, all run together, or Weight Watchers Facebook Live, and it should bring them up. And these are also on my blog, www.ifyouhaveanegg.com, and all the recipes are there. The transcripts for this will be here. Christy says we need a Food Network Weight Watchers show. Yeah, and I own a granite shop, so we could totally do it at the granite shop. Yeah, so I could sell some granite while we were making some food. But anyway, so all of the recipes will be on there, and you know, as well as the transcripts. And these are all on, or these all will be on my app. In case you don't have it, it is on, or if you do have it, just go ahead and look for, you can look in our new recipes for these on the app, and also the YouTube. You can go straight to YouTube on there, and so you've got access to this on the go. So like, let's say you get out to the, you get out to the store and you think, oh shoot, what was on that? You know, what did she make that with? You can totally use the app. Take the app with you. You have it on your phone. I mean, take it with you. That's the If You Have an Egg app. It's available in the Apple Store, Apple iTunes Store, and it's also available in your Google Play Store. Search If You Have an Egg, all run together. And Susan, the name of the app is If You Have an Egg, but you have to type it in. And Angie, yes, I made 2 of these have brag on them, so you'll have to go back and watch it while you're holding the puppy and trying not to get little puppy teeth in your hand. But the app is in the Apple Play Store or in the Apple iTunes Store, and don't tell Apple I just said that, but in the Apple iTunes Store or in the Google Play Store, it's just If You Have an Egg, all run together, IfYouHaveAnEgg, whatever, If You Have an Egg, all run together. Put that in the search bar, or if you go to my blog, if you're on a computer, over on the right, it says, there's a picture there that says, thank you, Karen, there's a picture, she typed out, If You Have an Egg, Stacy, thank you. It says for easy access on the go. This is now available on the blog, on the app. So anyway, you can take the app with you with all of these ingredients. And again, I do this for free. I do this for fun. The app is $2.99 though, so that I can pay the monthly maintenance fee. Because believe it or not, even though this is for fun and friends, they still charge me every single month to keep that up. My time is free, but that also keeps ads off of it, because I didn't want annoying ads on there, and I have no control over what the ads are, and that made me just a wee bit nervous, because I've seen some of those ads and I didn't want my name being associated with them. So anyway, so I chose to go the $2.99 route, and of course it's $2.99 one time. There's no charge as I add things. You already paid one time, and if you buy it, I appreciate it. Thank you for helping me do the monthly maintenance. But this one was a BLT Weggo Pita Pizza, and thank you from Long Island, Susan from Long Island. Then we also made the ham and cheese. This is the ham and cheese Weggo. This one was made with bread, ham, and cheese. Yeah, and a little bit of light mayo. So the Weggo ham and cheese, in case you needed to remember the name when you go back and look at it. And then finally, the 2 that are sharing a plate, we have the Weggo French toast and the cinnamon and sugar Weggo French toast, basically. So put a little bit of sugar-free syrup on either one of these, and they're absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So we have hit exactly an hour, well, an hour and 5 minutes, which is probably the best time that we've made ever. I do appreciate you all looking at, or letting me do one where I didn't have to spend 15 or 20 hours prepping. This one was super easy to get ready for because it's something that I make all the time anyway. Just had to make a quick trip to the store to pick up the Joseph's pitas. So do y'all have any last questions before we get off? I do want to remind everybody who's watching this either for the first time after the live, or if you're watching this from YouTube, this is a live Facebook chat. So yes, I am talking to people. Anyway, it's a chat. It is a live Facebook chat. So I had a couple of people actually complain about that last week, that I was talking to you all, but I think that's kind of the point of having a chat, is that I'm chatting with you. So I hope you all do like that I talk to you, and I wish you could talk back to me. I do love that y'all can type things to me, but I wish I could actually see you. So, and I love you guys too, Karen and Stacy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so I guess I'm going to wrap up now. Thank you, Susan. I'm going to wrap up now, but you guys, thank you again so much for being here. I'll let y'all know how the Weggos taste reheated, because that's what I'll be having the next couple of days for breakfast and lunch. And I may take the, you're most welcome, Carol, and I will, you're most welcome, Jackie. I may take one of them to work tomorrow and reheat it, and let Casey tell y'all too how they taste reheated. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you all next week, and thank you all for the thumbs ups, and thank you, Karen. You have a good week too. And Angie, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. I really haven't decided yet, because my husband's going out of town, so probably for a good long time. Probably not a good time for me to try and be prepping for Trader Joe's. So we'll just have to see. And it may be some more recipes, because I love doing them too. But I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all good night, so I can head upstairs and start typing this up and get it to you before you go to bed. Everybody have a great week, and hopefully it won't be pouring down rain next week. And bye, Susan, and bye, Betty. Bye, guys. Pressure cookers. Angie, don't have one. Yeah. Stacy, you be blessed and be safe too. Thank you very much for that message, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.